Hi guys. So I'm going to show you how to create this hot air balloon for your city. It was our warm-up today, but it is definitely something that you can drag into your city if you would like to do that. So let me get you started. We're going to go to Create New. If it comes up as custom, which is fine, you want it to be 5 by 5. Give it a name. I'll call this one Mrs. C hot air balloon, and then I'm going to name it video since this is for our video. And so there's my space. Double check your settings, your workspace, reset essentials, make sure everything's the way you want it to be. Double click your tools so that the tools are available for you to use in an easier way. And we're about to get started. So I'm going to make a perfect circle. Okay, so when you go to your shapes, of course, the ellipse is always the second tool down. I'm going to hold my shift key, and then I'm going to make that, that perfect circle. Okay, doesn't matter how big it is. This will be fine. Okay, and just kind of move it up a little bit so that you have space for the rest of your hot air balloon. All right, so this does not look like a hot air balloon. This looks like a circle. So here are some things you need to know, okay? When you click your direct selection tool and you click on any of these, you get handles, okay? If you were to start playing with these handles, you can see all the cool things you could be doing. You might come up with some really cool shapes. Maybe you're designing logos and you have some idea for a logo and you want to go with it. That's great. That they're really handy for making curves like that. What we want to do is we want to cut this circle in half. Okay, now we know of another way to cut this circle in half. We can go to we can make a pie piece out of this, and once you go to the pie piece, if you click 180 degrees, you know that will also cut it in half. But we're going to do it a different way. We are going to click with our direct selection tool on this side, because this is the side that we want to eliminate. We're going to go to Edit, and we're going to go to Cut. Okay, now I have half of a circle. Okay, so what do I want to do with this half circle? I'm still in the direct selection mode, and that's where I want to stay. So when I click on one of these anchor points, I get the handles, and the handles allow me to start making some adjustments. And I definitely want my hot air balloon to sort of curve in a little bit here. I might bring it out slightly so that there's room for the basket below. Do I want this to be fuller at the top? Maybe. Okay, so just kind of play with these anchors a little bit. Again, you can also, twist this way. You can twist this way if you want it, much fuller at the top. Tiny little twists and turns will make it just the way you want it to be. I'm not going to be real picky about it. I'm going to kind of go with this particular shape. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, go back to my selection tool, select this object or this path, and I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste in Place. I want this to paste right on top. And the reason I want it to paste in place is so that now I can go to Object, Transform, Reflect. And if you remember from when we did our map, when you reflect, if you reflect it vertically, it'll show up in completely the opposite manner. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. So now I'm going to slide this over so that the top touches. Okay, and take a look, make sure it's touching. They're not actually touching there. So I'm going to bring it over a notch. And now these two pieces will touch. Now I didn't give myself a big area for the basket itself, but I don't want to change it because I've already made a copy. So I don't want to have to back up and do this, but it will be fine just the way it is. So now I'm going to grab these two pieces. These are two separate line segments. I'm going to go to Edit. Excuse me, I'm going to go to Object. I'm going to go to Path, and I'm going to go to Join. Okay, now these two pieces are one piece. So if I move this around, it moves as a single piece. Now this is not the same as grouping. When I group something, it does not turn it into a single object. It just groups them so that if I need to move them, they're all going to move together. This is doing something different. It's creating a new shape. Now this shape is not complete. You see there's this open part at the bottom. So I'm going to go back to Object, I'm going to go back to Path, and I'm going to hit Join again. And now if you look, it went ahead and joined those two open areas. So I'm now ready to go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the entire balloon. Okay, and again, if you think back to when we made our map, when we held down our Alt key, we were able to restrict size. And so we're going to make a copy of this. We're going to hit Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste in Place. So it's right on top right now. And if I now grab this and hold my Alt key and drag it in, it's going to bring the sides in equally, which is what I need it to do. These need to appear equal. Let go of your mouse, let go of your Alt key. Okay? Do another one. Hit Edit. Whoops, no, not Cut. Try that again. Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste in Place. Again, hold down your Alt key. Slide your piece in, and now we have the next section of our hot air balloon. All right, let's do it again. Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste in Place, Alt key, and drag inward. Okay, so if you need to make changes to this, if this needs to be smaller, keep holding the Alt key. If you don't hold the Alt key, it won't do it in a even fashion, and you really need it to be done in an even fashion. So take a look. Does it seem, do your pieces seem even enough to you? Keep in mind that areas closer to you do tend to appear larger than areas further away. So if you choose to make these three sections a little bit larger than, say, your outer sections, you probably are going to have a more accurate looking hot air balloon because things get smaller the further away they are from us. All right, so I'm going to start with that. I'm now going to make a rectangle, and this rectangle will kind of attach here, and this will become part of the hot air balloon. The next thing I'm going to do is create another rectangle. This one will maybe be part of the basket. I'll start with one here. I'll create a second one. And the idea is that these multiple squares and rectangles are going to represent the basket. Now, right now, this doesn't necessarily look like a basket. It looks very squared. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit, get close to this, see what's really happening here, and then I want just the bottoms to be rounded, not the tops. So I'll click on this little widget, drag it in here. I'll click on this little widget, drag it in so that I have more of a basket shape here as opposed to a rectangle. What else would I like to do here? I can certainly change shapes if you're somebody who likes to work with your shapes and make them slightly different. Don't forget, we've got things we can do to our corners. Let's say here, I could certainly round that too if I wanted. If I didn't want it rounded, I could try one of these. I could try one of these corner pieces. Go for something different. Okay, so with that being said, I might want this to taper in slightly. So again, make sure you're on the direct selection tool, click on that, and then just sort of drag it in so that it's right above this. We're going to put sort of a tie there to tie these two pieces together. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to drag this in so it lines up. All right, time for some line segments. I will hold my shift key while I create a straight line. Let go of your mouse before you let go of your shift key. Since I have this one in place, this one I'm just going to slide in slightly so they line up perfectly. I'm just going to copy this. Copy, paste, Control C, Control V, and now this one will go right here. Okay, make sure it lines up with this part of your basket, and we're doing pretty good. We're almost done, to be honest with you. Okay, so these lines are kind of holding this all together, but we want strings as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line from, say, about here down to the basket. So it's going to come maybe right about there. Now that's a little thick. That does not look like a string. So I will change the thickness of that to, well, maybe we'll even do 0.25. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so now this is just some type of a string holding all of this up. Now I want another one on the other side. I don't want to have to redraw it, so I'm going to hit copy. I'm going to hit paste in place. I'm going to go to object. I'm going to go to transform, reflect. And once again, 90 degrees, I'm going to flip it. So now all I have to do is slide this to the right location. And now I have my string there. I want one more or two more strings. So I will Control C this, Control V this. This part I will let appear to be just inside the basket. So I'll put that there. And again, if I want another piece, which I do, I'm going to hit edit, copy, edit, paste in place, and then object, transform, reflect, 90 degrees vertical. There we go. And this one can slide over here. All right, so this can be my my basket. Maybe I'll slide this up a little more, kind of play with the design slightly. All right, I'm ready to go. So let's zoom out of this. We're going to add a little color to it, and we're pretty much done. So the basket, maybe a brown. The top part of the basket, maybe that can be also a brown, but perhaps a little deeper. Go for something different. This is going to be part of the balloon itself. So perhaps the outer band of my of my hot air balloon will be kind of like that pretty magenta. Next, this band, maybe we'll try an orange. And then, of course, this part of my hat can be one or the other. So I'll go with the magenta, and I'm done with the balloon. So all I have to do at this point to carry it over to my city is group the whole thing. Okay. If I go to my file, open, look for my city, not sure, I'll pull up the city version that I did for my video, since I have a couple different versions going on, and not completely remembering where I put it. I think I already put some balloons in some of these, so I think this might have been it, the video sample. So let me open this. Okay, so if this is my city, let me fit this all in the window. So the city's almost done, but I want to bring in my new balloon. Again, copy, go to my city, paste, there's my balloon, make it a little smaller, hold the shift key if you don't want to lose your, use your proportions, and you can kind of put your little hot air balloon up in the sky somewhere. If the colors don't go with your city, you can certainly change it. You can still make changes to it. You've carried it over. It's still in an Illustrator format, so you're welcome to make whatever changes to it that you want. So I'm going to now just save this, since it has now been changed. And as far as this goes, I want to not only save it, okay, but I want to export it so that I can put it in Google Classroom. And so just make sure it's set as a JPEG, save it. It's already been named. You just need to hit save. Now you have a JPEG version of this as well, and then you're going to upload that to Google Classroom. Okay, so good luck with that. Have fun, and you can certainly add more details to it. If you're somebody who loves details, go for it. If you want to just go for something simple, then do this. All right, have a great 3-day weekend, guys.